Hey Tammy, I I'm recording this and sending it to you because I thought it might be easier to just send it and then you can watch it when you have a moment rather than try to call you on the phone and with different schedules and stuff going on so that you can watch it at your leisure and stop and start it, whatever. But anyway, today I had a training with Julie Aldridge from Home Office. And of course, I think she's one of the most powerful field development managers we have. She just, every time she talks, I just like writing away. But she started saying stuff today, and I'm frantically writing. And in the back of my head, I get going, Tammy, Tammy, Tammy. I got to tell you this, Tammy. So I'm recording this video to pass on what I have. And then when we get a chance to chat, if there's anything more you want to chat about, that would be great. So a couple of hot ends and tidbits to pass on to you. We talked about, or she talked about, some of the ways that the national execs are passing down to their downline to get new business. And some of them are kind of unique. A couple I hadn't heard before, so I wanted to pass them on to you for you to use in your team. One is, I've heard about pampering a business, taking brownies and cookies, things like that, and leaving the break room with catalogs. But it never dawned on me taking the donut pan and donuts with homemade donuts. So that might be a good thing. Doing a lunch hour or after work show in the office. And it brought to mind a couple of buildings we have that have independent offices. There's real estate agents, there's attorneys, there's insurance agents. They all rent their offices. And I did a show for one of the gals, and they have a Friday afternoon at 4:30. They get together every week. Somebody brings the wine and they sit there and drink for an hour on a Friday after work. And my first thought was, boom, I could take some stuff down, some appetizers and stuff, because they go and eat. I mean, they bring stuff in to eat. So I can pamper them that way, and they're drinking wine, which is a good thing. Do a meet your neighbor show, whether it's your house or if you have a neighbor that wants to just host a meet your neighbor get together. It's not a formal Pampered Chef party, but you have catalogs out there, you have the products, you bake the food that you've made in the Pampered Chef products. You probably see a little black nose. She wants in my lap so bad. So I thought that was pretty cool. And then here's a cool one that I never heard of before, is help a Girl Scout get their cooking badge. So have them host a party for other scouts or whatever, and do it so that they get to earn their cooking badge. I thought that was pretty cool. So anyway, next. One of the things I already talked to you about the Strong Start, that we want them to have 6 parties on the calendar for the first month. And another way that somebody termed it today is we want to tell them that in support of them to get their new consultant reward, that we want to instill in them, we want you to reach your first 1250 in your first 2 weeks. That way you get your promo out of the way, you get your free product, you get your first 100 PC dollars, plus repetition. They learn faster and they get excited faster. So I'm going to start doing that approach too, is, I'm going to train you, teach you. I would like you to do your first 1250 in your first 2 weeks. And then we talked about verbiage, how we phrase things. And I like this one in telling somebody, if you only held 2 parties a week, that's $800 to $1,000 a month. So what you're saying basically is, don't say 1 party a week or whatever. We want them, to do 3, 4, but if you only do 2, that's $800 to $1,000 a month. But what that plants the seed in, they know that if they do more than 2, they can have more than $800 or $1,000, or if they do less, they're going to get less than that amount. So verbiage is important. And then, ironically, the training hit on something that you and I had talked about, Deborah, the other night, with her, whether she really wants to work the business or not. So, because none of us want to waste our time. Okay, we get that. So she mentioned in one of our very first chats, even before they sign up, it's you approach them and say, why don't we, let's chat about the role of a consultant so that we can make sure that this is a good fit for you. And I did some of that in my video at the opportunity event last week, but I really like that about having that chat, and it sets the expectations, because you're going to know real quick, right off the bat, whether they're a kidnapper or whether they want to work the biz, so that you know where to focus your energy. As we say, you can't get blood out of a turnip, as you know. So we just know, okay, we'll call them once a month if they don't want to work the biz. But let's chat about the role of consultant so that we can make sure that this is a good fit for you. Whether they sign up or not, even if they sign up and they say, no, I'm not interested, okay, fine. We got to keep moving on. Now, here's one, too, that'll go with what we've been chatting about, you and I. Statistically, when recruiting, okay, and they've been starting to tell us more and more over the last couple of months, recruit in groups of 10. And I'm like, okay, I do what they say, but I got more of the reasoning for it today, in recruiting in groups of 10. 5 out of those 10 people are going to do 0, okay? The remaining 5, 4 out of the 5 are going to do 1 to 2 parties a month. 1, the last one standing, 1 out of 10 is going to be the diamond in the rough, like you. When I went back and looked at my team roster, that is so true. I couldn't believe it. So it was kind of like an aha moment. And I got to tell Tammy this. 5 out of 10 are not going to do anything. 4 out of the remaining 5 are going to do 1 to 2 a month. One of them is going to be the gem. So the thing is, even though you've got your 5 recruits, as we've talked about, I'm not going to beat you over the head on this, but you know, and I've been always told keep recruiting, but I like to have the reasoning and the information behind it. And now it makes perfect sense to me about why you kind of want to get at least 10 people going. And then here is something that was said that just, boom, another light bulb went off. If you can't change your team, in other words, if they're not doing what you want them to do or what you try to get them to do, like me doing the incentives every month, it's like I feel like I'm beating my head against a brick wall, because you and a couple of others are the only ones that partake in those. If you can't change your team, change your team. I'm like, okay. I mean, it's common sense. We know that down deep inside, but when it's put to you like that, okay, keep recruiting. Then something I want to talk to you about when you get a chance, and this is something I've learned in a lot of the trainings I've been going to. I want to talk to you about, and this is a leadership thing, there's four branches to this. To make your life easier and balanced and organized with family, kids, work, pampered chef, is eliminate. We're going to look at what you can eliminate doing to free up time. Automate what you can automate so that it frees up your time. What you can delegate to somebody else so that it frees up your time. And what you can duplicate. In other words, what you don't have to reinvent the wheel on. So we'll talk more about that. But I've had that sitting on my desk to chat with you about. Our chats never turn into training chats, but anyway, we're getting the job done. So I just want to share those points with you. Talk to you later. Bye.